Hi everyone, this is Lolly. I am at Creativation 24 in New Orleans, and I'm here with Candace at the Stacey Park Designs booth.
Hello.
She has this incredible new line that she has designed for Sizzix, and she's just going to play around here and get inky, and she's going to show us some of her product.
I am. So not only do I have Sizzix, I've got I've got Couture Creations and Jacquard. I better look at my shirt. Oh my goodness gracious. So we've got inks from Jacquard. We've got the Sizzix and stamps and dyes all ready to go. And then I've got a new line of microfine glitter. Woo. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's just magnificent. I love it. So if you don't know about microfine glitter, glitter is all made the same. It's all depending on how much they grind it. And so you could have the glitter from your kindergartner's classroom, which is really coarse. This is ground as fine as coffee. It's almost like dust. So when you play with it, it feels dreamy and it doesn't make a mess. Now, a lot about my collection is that it is something to be built upon. So I'm very grateful because with Sizzix, I'm not just one and done designer. I get the opportunity to have my product carry all the way forward.
And you can build on it and add more pieces that work with your former pieces.
That's what I have right here.
Okay.
So my stamp here was launched, it was just launched in March, but the stencil was launching in May. And what that really gives everybody is the opportunity to have it all. They don't have to have it all right now. They have the opportunity to buy a little now and a little later without the fear of it going away. Because with a lot of the one and done product, if you don't get it the minute you see it, it's like shopping at Costco. If you don't buy it the minute you see it at Costco, it's gone.
True.
So yeah, right? So Sizzix has let me be a very foundational designer. I'm part of their essentials collection. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink on up. And with my stamps and stencils, I tend to ink first and stamp second. And there's really no right and no wrong way. Everybody does it their own way. This is a little blending, just a blending mat. It actually comes in A4 size, which is the size of my entire platform here. I've got it from Woodware, and it just allows you to tap off without having it put on your sticky grid, because this is the Sizzix stencil and stamp tool. And I can just go in there and do a nice blend. And I can pull the ink up so I'm not wasting it. Quite often you'll see people, they'll tap off onto paper and then the ink is wasted. But if I can pull it back up, I'm a girl who likes to get everything out of my products. And I mean, I really want to make them go as long as they can. And my inks are completely blendable, so they don't make mud, which is super important. They were developed by Jacquard, and they asked me what is it I would like to do if I could do inks. So I said I wanted them highly pigmented, which means I can desaturate as I'm blending just by tapping off. But if I want, I can also come in and do full solid color. They also stay wet just long enough to add embossing powder without them being a pigment-based ink. And they're water reactive. So if you want to do a little spritzy, we're just gonna switch them around. See, it didn't take me long to get my brushes wrong. See, look at how saturated it is. You know, I always say with pigment, with inks, if you have an ink that's super light, you can never make it darker. But if you have an ink that's well pigmented, you can go in and desaturate it to lighten that color. So then when I pull off,
oh, gorgeous.
See, isn't that pretty?
It is pretty.
It is, it's so pretty. And the stencil is so inexpensive. It is almost it's over an A4 size. No, it's over an A5 size. I want to say it retails for like $7.99. A stencil that size, that's a pretty good price. So then I've got the stamp that I am going to coordinate on up. I just got to figure out which side goes where.
And the stencil goes on the holes, the little knots, right?
If I was doing a layering stencil, I would have done it that way. But since I'm not doing a layering stencil, I didn't use the alignment tool. I can do a layering stencil to show you how the alignment tool works. So I've just put it right on. I can close up my platform. This really is meant for stencils because it will do layering stencils beautifully, but it's also a stamp positioner. And when you're using it as a stamp positioner, there's two sides to the lid. One has a grid on the top, one does not. It's smooth. That's the side you want your stamp to be on, is that smooth side. Give it a good press. We'll open it up. We'll grab some ink. We'll ink on up. And I'm using a Jacquard waterproof ink.
What would you use the grid side for?
So the grid side is if you are going to line up words, or if you need something to be in a specific area. You're still going to use the smooth side, but that grid side gives you an idea of where to place everything. So it's built right into the stencil and stamp tool. And then we'll just take it right on down. It fits right in, so there's no, I think that's what I love most about this, is that you don't have to like snap it in or pull hard to get it out. It just goes right down. I give a good press, and then because it's a stamp positioner, if I get a hole anywhere, I just have to put it right back down. Yep, see a hole right there. The ink is still there. I can come in and give a little bit better of a press. I say that I'm like making pizza dough, but I don't cook. Nobody wants me to cook. You never ever want me to cook for you. Let me make you a card. You don't want me to cook. But I watch enough cooking shows to know that this is how they do their pizza doughs. And hopefully that will help it. Yeah, there we go. Much better.
Very cute.
And easy peasy. So you can use the stamp by itself, you can use the stencil by itself, you can use them together. And because they're a foundational item, they really don't have a theme. You make the theme what it is you want by the ink you use, by the embellishments you choose, by the paper you choose. And that's why my line is in their Essentials catalog for Sizzix, because it isn't themey at all. It gives you the opportunity to make that creativity happen.
It's an evergreen product.
It is absolutely an evergreen product, and as it moves forward, there'll be more items to come. Now the fanciful framelets are completely different than anything else we've got. So fanciful framelets go with the fabulous Scotch tool. Have you seen this?
Yes.
So you put you're making on your space. Oh, let it be. Bam, right up. Just holds everything on your maker space, easy peasy. Then you can go in and pick what you want. But the fanciful framelets are done in a way where, as opposed to typically, if you had an embossing element or a feature on that die, it would be built into the die. The stitches or the dots, you'd have to use it no matter what. I went ahead and I separated them. That means you can use the die by itself, you can use the embossing feature by itself, or you can put them together and in fact even add another if you wanted to make a frame. But what else we did, we took Sizzix into the foiling world. They didn't know they were going to get into the foiling world, but here's the ovals, and you can see the embossing element, and these are done in frames. But if I turn the page, you can see them just by themselves.
Just the dies.
I've got the solids with the embossing feature, but if I turn the page, I've got just the dies. Here, I've taken the die, not the embossing element, and I made it into an embossing element using the squishy and the knock-knock. But if
those are platforms for the sandwich making on the Big Shot.
I made it into a letterpress. You can use any of the embossing elements, ink them up, send them through, and you've made a letterpress for your dies. Right, and then we go into letterpress with the dies cut out. And then we move into the pretty foiling.
Is that on the light? Can you see that? There we go.
Yes, there it is.
And then we go on. I know! That's the best sound ever! Oh my gosh, I love you for that. You just need to stay here all day long and do that all day long. So the fanciful framelets are different than anybody else's dies. And I've got 4 shapes, yes, 4 shapes to start. But every release there'll be additional shapes. And then when we move into 2025, well then they change again, but they'll be able to be used with the originals. tons of product, tons of beautiful things that are meant to give you the opportunity to create what makes your heart happy. If you need baby shower, you've got baby shower. If you need wedding invitation, you've got wedding invitation. If you need a Father's Day card, you've got a Father's Day card. It is all up to you because you've got the foundational product to get it started.
Thank you so much.
On canvas. I know, right? Here
Very
we've done embossing, and in fact my layering stencil is the background. There's a layering stencil as the background, and then we embossed on top. But there is a super cute sample. I'm looking
Okay,
for
let's go
it.
around and look at the card samples.
I'm looking for it.
Watch my back.
Super cute sample of where we've cut out the actual elements to make little rosettes.
Get some of these card samples here for you. I love the way this has kind of cut around the edge right here. Let me pull that up.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
So
Very.
that's a layering stencil. It's called Floral Impressions.
Beautiful samples.
Thank you. Yeah, they're all, you know, they're using a little bit of this and a little bit of that so that you get the opportunity to mix and match. And really, if you start with great tools, you add to it. It's about having those foundational pieces that you can always go back to, that you can always find on your makerspace, that you go and use again and again.
I'd rather buy 3 or 4 dies that are perfect and work together and that you can build upon, rather than get 5, 6 dies that are cheaper and more cheaply made and don't cut the paper right and give me a headache.
Well, that's why Sizzix does what they do. They've been in the die business longer than anybody else. And they pretty much handed me a Willy Wonka golden ticket and said, if you could, what would you do, Stacey?
Nice.
And as a retailer, I understand what my customers
What they want. Yes.
And they want value, and they want usefulness, and they want to be able to feel good about their purchases.
Yes, very well said.
Yes, having something that you can utilize again and again, you feel good about that purchase. Aren't they pretty?
They are very pretty.
Love, love, love.
So many cute samples here, and I love even the product packaging will show you a sample of a card.
Yes, so I changed the product packaging for my packaging and had them put the image on the front. So now that's taking the circle, my fanciful framelit circle, and just cutting it in half. I know, go ahead, do that.
That is amazing. Very cute.
These are beautiful.
Thank you.
How many inks do you have in your line?
So right now there's 12 inks and 12 re-inkers, and the total line will have approximately 48 colors.
When you're done bringing them out?
Yes, but it's a slow roll because, again,
You're building.
it's important that the customers have the opportunity to use what they have and grow when they need. And so we're only bringing out, in July, we're only bringing out 6 more colors. In
That's good.
October, we're bringing out 4 more colors.
If you want it all, I don't want to feel like I have to buy all 48 of something or it's going to go away and then they're sitting there and I feel overwhelmed to begin using them. Whereas if I start with a few colors and I'm really loving them and then I'm wanting to build on and get the next 2 and the next 2, I don't have to mortgage my house to get a full line of dye inks.
You shouldn't have to choose between milk and your hobby. You should be able to buy a tank of gas and still craft. Yes, it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be both. Because this is our decompression. This is our passion. This is where we get to express ourselves. But it shouldn't be at the expense of something else.
No, this is supposed to enhance our lives, not create guilt. So really happy. Thank you so much, Stacey, for sharing all this. I'm really happy for your line. Congratulations.
Thank you
it's so exciting.
much. I so appreciate the both of you.
And thank you for watching. Make sure you look at the playlist under this video to see the rest of the videos from all of Creativation. We'll see you next time from Lolly and Candace.
Bye, guys.